I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this 568th episode of the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Producer Kate is with us as always, making sure that the show is running smoothly and wonderfully, and we have got a lot of content for you tonight. It's been a long day, and as promised, here in just a few moments, we're going to bring on contributing correspondent from Madison County, Katherine Callahan. Hopefully, the last 24 hours have calmed her down a bit, and she's been able to see where we're going. So we'll bring her on here in just a moment. But before we get into all of that and get into the Madison County stuff and everything going on at the State House, I just wanted to touch base with you guys and let you know I have talked to a couple of people today that I had reached out to and have been talking to on a couple follow-ups relating to Prairie Creek and a couple of other things. And so hopefully tomorrow night's show, we might be able to cover that. There is no, I want to make sure people are aware, there is no session at the State House tomorrow. So tomorrow is an off day. I feel like they think that the state officials, the House of Representatives, they must just have done too hard a work today. They were there for a series of hours after a snowstorm like everybody else was, and they must have done too much. So they're giving them the day off tomorrow. So tomorrow is an off day. And then we will be back in bright and early at 8:30 Thursday, December 4th. So 8:30 December 4th, we will be back in. And there are a series of events that are going on. So nothing tomorrow. And then Thursday, December 4th, there is a Financial Institutions Committee meeting at 8:30 in room 156C. There is a public policy hearing at 8:30 a.m. in 156B. And then there is the big one, the Utilities, Energy, and Telecommunications Committee meeting at 8:30 a.m. So they're all at 8:30 a.m. So you've got to be able to divide yourself into three bodies if you want to attend all three of the meetings, or you've got to have three computers that you can stream this shit on if you want to do that. So those three meetings will occur at 8:30 Thursday, December 4th. And then we will go into the third House session, the third day of the House sessions at 1:30 or a little later at 1:30. So we will monitor all of that for you and keep you posted. We will talk about this a little bit later in the show, and hopefully we'll be able to get Catherine's thoughts on this. But just to bring it up here and tell you right away, if you guys didn't follow, we had nearly 8.5 or 9 hours of recording today. We live streamed for the entirety of the hearing, and then we live streamed the quick House session. The House Bill 1032, which is the redistricting bill, passed out of the committee with a vote of 8-5. There are 13 members in that committee. 13 members. The 13 members of that committee. This is important. I have to get this to you. I will let you know. The 13 members are the chair from District 21, Timothy Wesco. The vice chair from District 66, Zach Payne. Then the rest of them are majority members from District 16, Kendall Culp. From District 53, Ethan Lawson. From District 36, Kyle Pierce. From District 33, J.D. Prescott. From District 20, Jim Pressel. And from District 52, Ben Smoltz. And from District 42, Tim Yoakum. Those are your Republicans. And then the 4 Democrats are from District 1, Carolyn Jackson. From District 34, Sue Arrington. From District 61, Matt Pierce. And from District 94, Cherish Pryor. So you have 13 members. House Bill 1032, the redistricting bill, had 6 or 7 amendments, all failed, 9-4, straight down party line vote. And then the bill passed out of committee, going back to the full House with a vote of 8-5. So that means all but one of the Republicans voted for it. All 4 Democrats voted against it, and 1 Republican voted against it. And that 1 Republican that voted against it is District 42's Tim Yoakum. I'm already seeing people everywhere cutting down on this guy. And we need to really stand behind him, because I'm not ready to say primary a guy just because they have individual thought. That's what we need in the state house, is individual thought, no matter which way you go. So we're going to talk more about this, but I just wanted to let everybody know in case they dip out or whatever. It has moved onward to the House. I'm going to go ahead and say here, I'm still holding out hope that the Senate is going to do a downvote and kill this thing next week. But time will tell. We'll just have to see. Okay, well, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring up our very special contributing correspondent, Dr. Katherine Callahan from Madison County, to see hopefully here if her attitude has changed any from last night. We will have to see.
Listen,
Katherine, are you there?
I'm really trying to constrain my fingers right now.
Your fingers?
Yeah, for you.
Me too.
And it won't be the number 1 that I'm waving to you.
Oh, yes. Yeah, right. Okay.
All right. But I need a little bit of clarification on what you just talked about. So, because people were calling me, people were asking me these questions. I sent you a video, like a 30-second video. Can we just look at that real quick in Messenger? And it's the second one. It says no on the actual thing. And because somebody just posted about Kyle Pierce.
Yeah, I see it here. Stand by.
Yeah, can we just play that real quick? It's real quick, guys.
Yeah. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Oh, I see what this is. Okay, so let me put this up here. Then we got to get to the burning question. Hold on. What is this? Is this on Instagram?
Yeah, I just want to understand what's going on here, because a lot of people are lost. They thought they were meeting tomorrow. Where does this leave us at now that this has been passed? But
it's not been passed. Whoa. It's not been passed. It's just passed from committee to the House. So, okay, here's what we're looking at.
No. Chair Wesco.
No.
And the amendment fails 4-9.
Okay. What are you asking?
Call the roll.
Representative Jackson.
Yes.
Representative Matt Pierce.
Yes.
Representative Arrington.
Yes.
Yes.
Representative Pryor. Representative Payne.
No.
No.
Representative Culp.
No.
No.
Representative Lawson,
No.
Representative Yoakum, Representative Kyle Pierce,
No.
Representative Prescott,
No.
Representative Pressel,
No.
Representative Smaltz,
No.
Chair Wesco.
No.
And the amendment
Okay.
fails 4-0.
All right. What are we asking?
The no's meant what?
Back up. This is very easy. So here's the trouble with this. The trouble with this is a 30-second clip that's being played when today's meeting was
Why am I
7.5
off the
hours. Where are you here? What is going on here? Oh, I see what happened.
What is
It's just total chaos. We'll get to it here in a minute. I got a bone to pick with you here in a minute. Let's get through this because this is a good question. This is a big thing here. So what people are doing all over the internet, and this is why I don't do this, and I type out what it is, and you really on these things have to follow on Facebook and Twitter because I keep this information there. That was just on one amendment. So you have House Bill 1032, which is the redistricting bill. And then in that committee, after all the testimony got done, there were 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 5 Democrat representatives that put forward 6 amendments. There was one Democrat representative that put forward 2 amendments. And then there's 4 of them that put together the others. Okay. And all of the amendments, all 6 amendments failed. And so what you were listening to there was the vote on an amendment. And so everybody that said yes was a Democrat, and everybody that said no, including Kyle Pierce, was a Republican. So all they were doing there was killing the amendment. And then at the end of those amendments, they voted on the bill, and the bill passed out of committee with 8 yeses and 5 noes. So it had a majority pass yes, and
So Pierce voted yes for the
Pierce
redistricting.
voted yes for redistricting. The only Republican that voted no on redistricting was Yoakum. And he voted no, and he's already getting a ton of shit for it, which is just
And I'm not weighing one way or the other. I don't have enough information, but somebody in our county made a post about Kyle Pierce, and I did just share it to my screen. And this was like moments before we came on the air, and it is gaining a lot of traction. And so, listen, I was a no on Kyle Pierce after he went with that State Bill 1. I was done with him. Down in South Madison, we've got a fire territory issue. It really did a lot of damage. The firefighters had to do a lot of damage control to get that back in. We were going to lose our fire territory. So I was done with him after that. So my thing with Kyle is from there. So
what's it say? This on your thing says, now this is a worthless piece of space that is supposed to be representing the majority of Anderson.
You might want to show this to the people. I'm not trying to tell you how to run your show.
Yeah, we'll get back to that here in a second. Hold on. So she's apparently still fired up. We'll get to that.
Clearly agrees with me.
So this says, I just wanted to make sure what we're saying here. Now, this is a worthless piece of space that is supposed to be representing majority of Anderson, Indiana. He is the perfect representation of a worthless politician that doesn't represent his people or his community. Okay, I'm okay with that. If he comes around in your space, ask him to politely exit stage left and keep stepping. His seat is coming up, and I can't wait to have someone run against him that is willing to represent our community and not this loser. So yeah, I'm okay with everything there. It doesn't say, that doesn't say anything. It just says he needs to go. And I agree absolutely with that.
And in the comments, I posted his map of his territory. So anybody I haven't heard of anybody who's wanting to run against him. I did send it to you in Messenger too, but I just want you to know, if you're in the area, that you can run against Kyle Pierce. He's beatable. He did not beat Terry Austin by much, everybody. Yep. He is completely beatable. There is no question to that. So I encourage all of you to think about that seat.
Okay. Well, we will get back to that towards the end of the program because I want to hear what you got to say on that. And there's a lot of important stuff, but just for everybody to know, he voted yes on the redistricting. Just so everyone's aware, I am
Kyle
not
is
in
District
favor of
36.
redistricting. He's District
Somebody's
36.
asking on the side.
Yeah, that's Prescott and Pierce both. They're about one and the same, honestly, but it's whatever.
It's just poor representation of the people. They are still in the old way, and I just don't think government is going to continue in the old way. Right?
Hopefully not for much longer. Yeah.
Right. In the continuance of the bare minimum. Now you're always okay with the bare minimum.
That's what we got to find out. Yes.
With bare minimum.
That's the big argument we had last night
for these people.
Well, so it's like I said last night, we had to apologize.
Let's talk about last night.
Because we were wrong. You were wrong. I know it's hard for you to admit this.
No, I was not wrong. I was not wrong. I followed your lead.
No.
And here's the thing.
No.
When you put yourself out there, Kristopher, you got to be all in or all out. You can't be just dancing on the side of the lake here.
Okay, listen.
Put both feet in Catherine, or take both feet out.
Okay, I tell you what, Catherine, how about we do this? How about I remove you?
Well,
this is my show. And if you don't like how I do things here, you can go and make your own YouTube page and you can babble your shit to the people there. How about we do that? How did you get back up here? Hello? You don't just get to come back here.
No. I'm going to take this.
Get rid of her. Okay, there. Sorry about that, folks.
You're going to silence my voice. I'm going to take it to the people.
That was so hard. That was so hard to do. I was trying to screw it up.
You're not a good game player here.
Right.
You got to go to acting lessons.
I know.
You're a bad politician.
I was trying to not screw it up. Like I was trying to not look at you the whole time because if I looked, it was going to be a problem. So
listen. I don't know why you didn't get a meat cleaver and bring the meat cleaver and go, bam, 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 bam. You are going silent.
I'm going to order a gavel. I've said that for so long. I need to get me a gavel. I'm going to break out and do it. I hate that I didn't have it. I was going to do it when Bob was doing all his craziness and he had his large gavel. But I need to do that. But okay, so really quick to start over.
You behave just like John Richwine. You hit the mic, you stomp your feet, and this is what is wrong with you men?
Yes.
Kate was going to go with me. She was going to tell you off for me. She's going to have to break the two of us up.
Hold on, I got to bring Kate. Are you busy? Can you come up here for a minute? Can we bring you up here? And I'll pull you up here if you're okay with that. So, did you know what was happening there?
You two being ridiculous again.
We do argue off air quite a bit, you guys.
Right?
Just so you know that.
Well, so here's what happened. Last night was kind of real spat back and forth, and then like we've talked after that. We talked all day today, and Catherine was talking to me, and Catherine's like, "Man, people were telling me like you've got to be nice to Bilbrey or he won't let you back on the show," and I'm like, "What? Who's telling you that?" Catherine and I could have a literal knockdown drag out and I would have her back on tomorrow. Listen, I will tell you, she's hard to handle. And sometimes it's like, all right, shut up.
No,
but I don't shut people down. I'm not going to, we don't.
If you can't agree and disagree. What's the purpose of the show?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm just going to kowtow to him, I'm not drinking the Bilbrey Kool-Aid.
Right.
Not today, tomorrow, or next week.
Oh, Karen for the win.
What Karen? Yeah, you are out of order. That's absolutely yes.
Right?
Well, that's what I said. Then we were talking, and I was like, wait a minute, we need to have a fight tonight, and you need to come on. We'll need to argue, and I will get rid of you. But then I was pressing the wrong buttons. And so the plan was for me to say, okay, you're gone, and then put her down below, and then pop her back up, and be like, no, you can't, get rid of her, and then let you guys know that everything's okay. So we are fine. Everything's good and well with the world, and all is good. No matter what kind of argument,
come and settle us down.
Yeah, right. No matter what. First of all, that was not a real argument. So I think there are people out there. We probably just killed my grandparents. I need to do like a check welfare out to my grandparents' house. That was an act. We did that as a joke. Everybody, everything's good. But there might come a day where we argue, and just because we argue doesn't mean I'm not going to have her back on. This is politics. You guys argue. You know what I mean? So
there are days when you call me and you're like, you need to take care of Katherine today.
Yes, I do say that.
Lay down.
And our dog
we still make him do that.
Yeah. Right. All right. So here's
you, we were talking earlier. I said Stumblefoot isn't going to have it. You start silencing me, Stumblefoot's going to say something.
So here's what Alva wants to know: were you wrong or right? What do you think?
Well, maybe I was wrong and you were right. I don't know.
Here's the thing. And that's what I was telling Katherine yesterday. Madison County's in such a weird position that
it is.
Even when we're wrong, we're right. That's the reason it's good to admit it, because it buys credibility to say, okay, well, something we had some bunk information here, but I go back to the fact that I was trying to get the correct information from these people back last Tuesday. All any of them needed to do was to pick up the phone, pick up the text, and send a 3-letter word or a 2-letter word, yes or no. They didn't have to have a big conversation with me. And if Tim Lenane or Olivia Pratt or Rich Wine or Gardner would have said all that crap last Tuesday, we wouldn't have went for the last week in the wrong direction with that. Now, that being said, they're still playing games, and that's what it's all about.
And what I want people to understand is that, there are technicalities, right, that go on.
Sure.
But if Kristopher and I are in these trenches day in and day out, and if we are confused or we are somewhat off the mark by a little, can you imagine what the public is? I mean, that's
I will fight you about that, because I say, no, we're not off the mark. They were just they're still holding back cards. It's like that puzzle I always talk about.
No, I agree. But when I say off the mark, is like if you're just an eighth of an inch off the mark. And here's the thing. This is why I don't totally agree with Kristopher, because, sure, you want to go with the public access coordinator. You want to go with all of that. You can go with all of that. But ethically and morally, there has to be a compass there. And that is something that Madison County continues to fail miserably on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the thing is I'm going to tell all of you everything. I guarantee you from Tuesday until Monday, after they saw how much Kristopher and I did, they had to go look up and make sure they were in the right. That's why they didn't speak up. They had to go and research all of this material. Yeah. They had to go and try to decipher everything to make sure they were.
Wait a minute. Did we do something wrong? Yeah, right.
So they're questioning their own ability. And this is all part of the chess moves, right? So the problem with Madison County is that they often play checkers and we're playing chess. The bigger problem to this is somebody said to me, oh, no, Rich Wine, he plays chess. And I said, but the one thing that Rich Wine has never played chess with, he's never had the actual queen and king on the board at the same time. And now that's what he's got. And now that's why he's starting to drown, because if I don't know it, then Kristopher catches it. If Kristopher doesn't catch it, I catch it. And now they're all starting to get, they can't get out of their own way. Right?
Yeah.
And we will not accept the bare minimum, right? I'm not going to accept a grown woman sitting in front of the crowd as a commissioner chewing gum. I mean, I don't know who raised that, but that's just ridiculous.
So weird. That's so weird.
Spit it out.
So,
I mean, I did an interview one time on the news and I had put my gum over to the side, and literally after I got off air, my mom called me and said, and I wasn't chewing gum, but she's like, how dare you have gum in your mouth?
Yeah.
So, I just encourage people to hold these people accountable, and they should have some respect for us as people. So at the end of the day, Okay, they want to say, well, we mentioned it here. They're moving meetings around. This is a holiday time. And the fact of the matter, if anybody paid attention last Tuesday, how much work did it take
Yeah.
for us to
Mhm.
get a form
Mhm.
for this meeting that was taking place on Monday, correct?
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
I want to tell you something very interesting about this. So David Scroggins literally says to Miss Crooms, how do you know the exact form that you need? No one has ever come up here and said, I need an IEC 8 form. Why is that even relevant, Devin?
Well, so one, why is it relevant? Why does it matter? It's not, this is not German that we're speaking. It's not Spanish. This is not,
Right?
it's not like crazy rocket
Just
science.
give the forms.
You called that. First of all, just give the information. It's supposed to be on demand requestable.
So
I want, like Ollie Dixon was saying, no one should be, because Devin kept saying, well, you just fill out the paperwork. You shouldn't have to do that. This is not a regular record request. This is documents that everyone should be able to walk up and say, hello, I would like my copy of the documents, please. I would like my book put together in color, with color coded and with.
And I want to know how much that cost.
Yeah, let's talk about all that.
Here's
the deal. Here's the deal. You talking about the bare minimum, real quick. I've said this a lot of times.
The bare minimum.
That's absolutely, yeah. So I want to talk about this because this is what these people don't understand. They say, well, we followed the law. So the law says that you have to give 48 hours. It doesn't say you can't give 70 hours or you can't make it a month in advance. Like, there's nothing wrong with going above and beyond. The law says you have to attempt to notify the newspaper and you have to make a notice outside the area where the meeting is. But there's nothing that says you can't put it on a big billboard, electronic billboard outside that flashes. There's nothing that says you can't put it on social media. These people should be attempting to meet the public wherever the public are at. That's going above and beyond. And that's why I always say, and attorneys will say this all the time, Kyle Pierce probably doesn't know this because he's not a real lawyer. But people that are in the practice of law say all the time, the law is the floor. It's not the ceiling. It's the starting point. It's not the end. And if people are okay with just flopping over the bare minimum over the line, then that's fine. But in government, I'm not okay with that. And when these people are getting paid to serve us, I'm not okay with them giving us just the bare minimum. So that's what we've got to get people in the mind with.
And I just want to say hi to Niles as he was saying hi to me. And I would have said it while I heard him in the background, but for a minute there, I was thinking Niles was telling me to sit down and lie down in the corner.
I don't think he was saying hi to you.
By you, right?
I think he was yelling at the dog. Yeah.
Right. But when Kristopher talks about accepting the bare minimum, let me tell you what I'm unwilling to accept. Not that I'm unable. I'm unwilling to accept that every time I turn around in Madison County, I have to hear, we got to check with the attorneys. How much are we paying these attorneys every time you people do not know if literally you can fart sideways? I don't know, because this is like making me nuts.
It's so crazy. It should not be like that.
If people are going in, Dave Sargent, myself, Rebecca Crooms, you, and we're saying this is an IEC 8.
Yeah.
We're telling you the exact form, and we're telling you this is on demand. And you people who are being paid and employed by the county taxpayers, you don't know what you're supposed to give us. Perhaps you should just resign. Like, just fill that out. Give me the piece of paper. Let's get somebody in there who is willing to work with the people instead of say, well, I got to check with the attorney to see if I can give that to you.
Yes.
And this is what, and here's the thing. When we watch this meeting, I'm going to tell all of you, Kristopher, how does Devin, who's the Democrat, and Chris Lutz, who's the Republican, how exactly do they get their positions? Is that an appointed position?
I need to know what they are. They
Well, I'd
are.
like to know what they are, but they work in voter registration, and one represents the Republican and one represents the Democrat Party.
Okay,
I was
so
looking
they're
on
not
Gateway
the.
for their titles because it was very confusing, right?
They're not the elected. They're not. Excuse me. They're not the election board.
No.
So
They
they
work in
are
voter
working in
registration.
voters registration, which I would assume. I would assume that they're hired. They're hired through the county. It's not. It's not appointed. They're hired positions.
Right.
If
But
it's the
wouldn't you
same way
think the
Delaware County's gone.
chairs of those departments would put them in those positions? Because I'm telling you right now, that's kind of how Russ did it. He had Lloyd Brown in there. I will tell all of, I think his name was Lloyd Brown. I will tell you right now, if I was the Republican chair, and if what Kelly Hewer is saying when she's at the podium that she had no idea what was going on, she had no idea of any of this information. Guess who would have been out today? As a matter of fact, right after that meeting, I would have said, Chris, you need to go ahead and give me your resignation because you're supposed to be protecting the Republican Party. Yeah. You're supposed to be making sure I have this information. You're supposed to make sure our elected officials have this information. So you have failed us miserably. So you are done.
Or, I mean, look, the reason the Democrats knew is because Devin's the Democrat Party chairman. And I guess so his day job, this is just his regular day job. This is what he does.
Right. And you know
what's so Chris funny should have been telling Kelly the whole time what was happening.
You know what's so funny is that Tim Lannon and Terry Austin groomed this boy to be the Democrat chair. Like they both stepped back. And if you go back and look, they're like, we're going to be right here for Devin. We're going to just, stroke him. We're going to guide him. We're going to do all these great things for him. Right. Yeah. Well, you guys obviously are pretty bad mentors because you kind of got screwed yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's really interesting because for being the chairman, Kelly got up and absolutely just 1000% made him look like a dumbass.
Right. But then he returned the favor. He returned the favor because Kelly got up there and Kelly's like, oh, you didn't inform me. And then Devin's like, right here on this date, you got notified. You may not have gotten all the details, Kelly, but you were notified.
Yeah.
And to Devin's defense, Kelly, where were you on Tuesday? Why weren't you up there fighting with We the People? Why weren't you up there saying, give me those IEC 8s, give me those maps, let me get these out to my people? Why weren't you up there? It was a holiday week. You could have got that stuff out. It took me a long time because my girls were home and we were doing all this stuff. But at the end of the day, why wasn't she up there on Tuesday getting that information?
Yeah, she should have been. Absolutely.
Please, somebody tell me why at 9:30, Terry Austin gets to walk in there on a Monday morning at 9:30, 30 minutes before the meeting, and she's got a beautiful 3-ring binder.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot her a message and find out where exactly she got that because we got all the documents. We got them Tuesday. We had them all this time, but they were electronically done. I would have much preferred what she got. She had a 3-ring binder. She had the color coded pages printed off in plastic sleeves, and she had them like in correct order, and she had paper clips in there. I mean, it was a big production.
And I she's like, know
she said, I got this 30 minutes before the meeting.
Yeah.
How? By who? What?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to know why 10 of those weren't sitting around the room that people could come up and they could fondle and go through. And I want to know why they didn't have a plastic overlay on the map you're proposing right on top of it so you could look at your district or your place. I want to know why those things weren't happening. I want to know, with the money that the county taxpayers have paid for that huge screen TV in there, why they didn't have this PowerPoint that showed that and demonstrated that as well. If these people are going to be of quality level and we're going to be paying all this money, because this is a big deal, this isn't just a small deal, then you need to come and you need to perform and you need to present in a professional manner so that everybody can see the differences. If you listen to the meeting, it's like, oh, but we're not going to touch Ingalls. That is exploding. we're going to leave those 2,000 people in place, and we're not going to cut anything up over there, but we're going to go over here in the city and we're going to just start carving what we want. I mean, we need to make sure that everything is the same everywhere, not just for some or partial. And I heard a lot of that yesterday during the meeting.
Hey, do me a favor real quick. Take like the edge of your sleeve and wipe the camera off. Wipe your camera off on your screen. Or like some kind of cloth or something. And just wipe.
Hey, because you know why? There. Because you want me to do wax on, wax off.
Yeah. Right? Yes, that's good. Well, that didn't really help. I don't know. You got some weird, like, it's all right. It's no big deal. I do want to answer 2 questions here. This is something. So it says, how many counties have regulations on public access, like Madison County's resolution that the commissioners put in place? I'm not really exactly sure what you're talking about. The regulations. So the only thing that at a county or city level that there is there are ordinances, which are local laws, and there are resolutions, and resolutions are not you can't be held to them. So the only thing that you could be talking about is some kind of ordinance, and it can't be more restrictive than what the state law is. So I don't know what you're talking there about. I mean, a lot of places have like these guidelines they would like you to go by. A lot of places have those, but you'd have to be more specific so I'd know what you're talking about. And then the other thing is, you said, did she make the binder herself? Very well possible. She could have.
No,
that's why we're saying we would like to know, because did she bring the stuff with her?
Because she says, gave it to I got this 30 minutes before. I mean, like if you listen to what she said in the meeting, it's like they handed her that binder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you couldn't put a binder like that together in 30 minutes. Now, I'm good, and I've done a lot of education in my days, but there's no way I could put that binder. Would have taken me probably a good 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was there's a lot of crap in the email that was sent. So if they would have just printed all that out, she probably, I don't know, who knows what happened. To tell you what, maybe it was Devin's. Maybe it's the one in there, and Devin just loaned it to her. Who knows what happened? But I am going to find that out, because they gave me a printed out copy. But if they're going to hand me a binder like that, I'd go up there and pay $10 for that.
Sure.
I'd go pay $10 for that document. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And then sell it to you for 20.
And you know what? I'd pay $20 for it.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, it's worth every bit of it. So
absolutely.
Yeah, because it's going to come in very handy as we move into the 26th election with those maps. So
I have this meeting. Are we going to play parts of this meeting? What are we going to do?
I would like to play a few parts of the meeting, especially about the binder, so people can make their judgment for themselves.
Okay.
But I'd like to play Kelly Hewer as the biggest one.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Can you describe some of what that resolution is? I don't, or are there resolutions online? Do they have the resolutions online in Madison County?
If you can find the minutes, you go and find the minutes from like the commissioners meeting or something like that.
Well, but I mean, we've got what resolution it is. My question is, if I type that in, is there a way to find out what that actual thing is? I don't think so. We
usually have to wait until they put the minutes up.
And here's Kate.
Public request for documentation resolution approved unanimously by the Board of Commissioners. Resolution established standards and procedures for how the public can request documentation from the county offices. So it's the thing where they said you have to do this form.
Okay, you have to fill out this form. So number one, it's a resolution, so it's not binding by law. So they can't force you to do it.
What I want people to understand, okay, and this, hopefully you can send the message home, Christopher.
Let's
county's got their little form they want you to do, and they're all
home rules. They never supersede county or federal or the state or federal rules. So they can make all these little blah 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 blahs, but if it is stricter than what a state or federal regulation is, they can't do that.
Yeah. So that's just how our system of government works out. So you've got federal law, and state law cannot supersede federal law, it can be more lax. That's why federal law possession of marijuana is illegal. However, there are several states that say marijuana is not illegal. That's how that is. So people can still be arrested federally, but the state level is not going to come in and get you. So that's how that is.
Correct.
It can't be like the federal government says marijuana is free, everybody can have it, it's not illegal, and then a state says, okay, it's illegal. That can't happen. It can't be the other way around. And then at the state level, there can be state laws, but the counties can't have more stringent laws than the state. So it goes like that. But as far as this revolution, so the form, that's what Kate just read off as far as the this is what
I want to explain to Meg.
Yeah.
I get where it says about the attorney. Let me be crystal clear to you about that. That all came up when I sued the town of LaPel over the LKQ project. And so now they came up with, you can't be giving stuff out because why? We used it all against them. So now it all has to be looked at by the attorney before you can release that information. Now,
and
that
real
is
quick,
laughable.
That is way stupid because, so for example, if you request documents from the state of Indiana, if you request documents from, like I just recently requested some documents from the lieutenant governor's office, and the documents that I requested, I sent the record request into his chief of staff. They sent that on to their communications person. The communications person dug through whatever and sent it to me. They didn't send it to their attorney because what I was requesting didn't need that. Now, I could request emails maybe that Micah had sent to people, and they would like to say, wait a minute, we don't want to give these to him, or we think this is questionable. So then they might turn that over to their attorney. The same thing as when I request information from Winchester or Muncie or Henry County or Anderson. When I request documents that are like, for example, police reports, or I request commissioners' minutes or city council minutes, those are things that there's literally no question about. There's just absolutely no question about. Let's say somebody gets arrested on a probable cause sheet, and I go to the clerk's office looking for the probable cause sheet. There is nothing that is questionable about that. They don't have to turn that over to the attorney. And I guarantee you they don't turn it over to their attorney. They take it and they send it out.
County, it's an intimidation factor.
That's exactly.
I mean, that's what they want. And to me, I don't care. Call the attorney, because you're going to give me those forms for the IEC8. I guarantee you. Get your attorney. I don't care. Use it as toilet paper. Knock yourself out. Eat off of it. I don't care. You're giving me those forms.
But
what they're thinking is, most people will be like, oh, you're getting an attorney? Well, then let me not ask you for these forms. Yeah, it ain't happening.
But the when you're saying it's strict, it's not strict because it doesn't really matter. Because when you go in and fill out the request, if you fill out the request for a document that is releasable, you're going to get it. It might take some time. And if they want to pay their attorney to do that, that's, in my opinion, okay. It's
not okay.
It's, you know what I'm saying though.
It's my tax dollars.
Yeah. What I'm saying is I don't give a shit if they want to burn the tax dollars, that's fine. The people have to be mad about that. What I'm saying is, to me, I don't care if that feels strict. If they're like, ooh, we're going to pass this down and have 30 people look at it. Okay, well, do it within a timely manner and whatever you want to do. If you want to spend and waste tax dollars, that's on you, and your people are going to have to tell you that's okay or not. I don't give a shit one way or another. Okay, because there is remedy for that. No, but I'm talking about for Muncie. Let's talk about Muncie or Delaware County. If they want to spend time on some jerk off mission, sending that to the attorney, and they want to pay him, and they then can't give their deputies a raise, hey, that's on them. Yeah. So people will have to get mad and in turn fight them for that. That's not on me, because they don't have to do that. If they're just doing that to prolong giving records to people like me or Catherine or the public or whatever, then that's some bullshit you're pulling, and have at it. Eventually people will get tired of it.
this person's exactly right. So if state law doesn't require one to fill out a form to get requested info, then how can Madison County require it?
So
can challenge
they can't require it. I don't. Sometimes I fill
Exactly.
out the form and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I send an email saying, "Hey, this is what I want." Sometimes they don't.
And that's
The
if
other
you would have
day,
paid attention to when Christopher went up there and he's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I'll put a name on there. If you want a
Yeah.
name, fine. If
I-
you, but I'm not giving you certain things."
yeah, I treat it very stupid. So the other day I asked Heather Bailey for an email, and I sent her an email. I'm going to tell you right here how to get it changed, Megan. So the other day I sent an email where I typed out just a regular email, and I typed in the wording for the law for a record request. And I said, I want these documents. And Heather, no, I didn't. You know what I did? I even bowed down and did what they wanted. And I submitted the form like they wanted it. And they had, for some unknown reason, changed the form. And Heather said, can you put it on this form? And so instead of doing what she wanted to do, what I did it more ignorantly. I took the form that I had and I cut everything out and I pasted it onto the new form and made it look stupid. And then I sent that in and said, oh, there you go. So all I did was I sent them in the original form, just pasted onto their other form, and it looked stupid. And you know what she did? Within 4 or 5 hours, she gave me what I wanted. So
Sure.
all I'm saying is,
and that's the whole thing. Just like they
Fight them.
responded to you when you put a
Mhm.
different name on there, they said Christopher Bilbrey. And you're like, well, that's not the name I
right.
used on that.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Again, it's what the people will tolerate. If you want to tolerate the bare minimum, if you want to tolerate their abuse of power, then you accept it. I'm telling you right now, Katherine Callahan is not going to accept it. Katherine Callahan is never going to accept it. Christopher is, but Katherine isn't.
Yeah. I don't care if they spend Catherine's money.
Right?
I like spending Catherine's money. So,
exactly. So let's watch a few of these. This is a very interesting, and you know what? I call this karma. I call this karma to Kelly Hewer because so many times I have asked them for information. I wanted information and I couldn't get it. And so this is great. It's just great to see this many people showed up after a holiday.
Yeah.
Cents per linear foot, for stop bars, 24-inch, 25.
Okay, we're still there.
4 on a
And I
seat.
don't understand why these
there's a
cameras
lot.
do not show who's at the podium. This is ridiculous.
And then the final one.
Yeah, they could. Yeah. They could. Okay, but how do I actually get a new resolution passed? You elect somebody else besides the 3 idiots that are there, or you don't worry about it because a resolution is not binding. So just don't worry about it. I always tell people, don't worry about things you don't need to worry about. You don't need to worry about resolution because it's not binding.
We have
and this starts around the 27-minute mark is where this even starts.
Item number 9.
Okay, we're
trying to figure out how to make this.
Okay.
Any updates that are engineers? So
the 2 brains. So the voter registration come to the podium.
Okay.
Those districts were updated in the city.
And they kind of go through what they're doing.
This project more recently, back in October, city of Pendleton also redistricted inside city limits. So one of our primary reasons that we wanted to initiate this project was to update precinct lines so that they match with the district lines that are drawn now in city of Anderson and now Pendleton. Another reason is over the last about 15 years, there's a number of annexations that occurred from our various municipalities across the.
Now you see here in the middle of the auditorium, these are all Democrats sitting right here.
Yeah.
And it looks like that's Tim Lannon. It's Terry Austin, who is flipping through the binder. It's the Deputy Mayor Ikes, and I can't make out the other 2 ladies. So they're extremely interested because they all are involved in Anderson. Is that Linda Smith in the back there, sitting in the back row?
Linda Smith is in the very back row. She looks, yes, right here. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And has nothing to say about this. And then there's Michelle Daniels. So you got 2 of the county election board people there. And then in between Michelle Daniels and Linda Smith is Kelly Hewer. Now, I want to point out to you that there's only 3 people on the county election board. 2 are at this meeting. And then you got the GOP leader. This is the same group that came to the county council meeting when they wanted their money and they wanted all of their stuff. So this is an interesting group of people here. And Lyndon never goes to the podium. Michelle Daniels never goes to the podium. And I'm not even sure they know what's going on. If Kelly Hewer is this confused, we got bigger issues.
Yeah, she stood up and it's very strange.
That were not included in our precinct boundaries.
So we'll jump ahead here a little bit.
Also, in addition
and
to
then
that,
that's Sheila Ashley, I guess, sitting in there with these guys. She's the clerk over at the Anderson City.
To the Board of Commissioners back in August, changes that had been made to that point. Nearly
Fast
all
forward
of those
it to
changes
Kelly Hewer.
So they encouraged us to neatly to.
I didn't realize they stood at the podium that long.
So small.
Oh no, they were up there for a while.
A little bit.
It was painful.
In Ingalls precinct, but
and that's the other thing. These guys, they've been working on this since April, and it's just now coming to light right here. Before.
Hold on, before we get there, let's listen to Ollie for a minute.
City Councilman, I think about everybody. Well, everybody in here, I think they know me. I'm Ollie Dixon. I'm Anderson City Council person. And first of all, I want to say that I object to what Devin said there about Anderson.
So Ollie is a Democrat in Anderson, and obviously you can't see who's speaking, but he was the older black man that walked across, and he's a Democrat talking to he's bitching about his Democrat Party chairman,
and he's been
Devin.
a councilman for like 40 years. And I want to make note, you see Devin and Chris go back here and sit in the pews or the audience. Shortly they will change and come up here to the front table because they get in the hot seat
here. Yeah,
City Council, everybody was approving of what transpired. I did not appreciate what was done, but I'm one black, there are 8 whites on there, and that was racial gerrymandering. And first of all,
So that doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about.
well, I know where we're going. You're redistricting priests.
And when Rich Wine spoke up and said that, I thought, oh, this is going to be a long day because he's gonna shut everybody down. But really, he speaks up a couple times when Ollie speaks, and then other than that, he just shuts down.
because they know better with Ollie.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to file a federal lawsuit of violation of the 1965 Voters' Right Act, John, by which at that time President.
All I was trying to make sure we're talking about what the commissioners are talking about.
That's fine.
Well, what you're talking about is altering districts, precincts. Now, will the precincts, let's take the 4th district, will all the precincts keep their titles, or are they going to change? In other words, 4-1, would it remain 4-1, 4-2, remain 4-2, and so on? You understand where I'm coming from there? Or what changes, or Devin? You want to explain?
See, and here's the problem. The commissioners are actually the people who get to vote on this, or whether this goes.
And they don't have
have no idea.
They've got no clue
anything about the redistricting.
Yeah.
Completely clueless.
Lines changed and incorporated some 4 District 6, a little bit of old District 3, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, they don't let me speak from the
And Rebecca says, can't hear. I love Rebecca. She just said, can't hear. So then that's why they yell at them, tell them to come up to the table.
Yeah, Devin, why don't you just off that?
And you know, Rich Wine, they don't let us interrupt them when they're speaking. Why do they consistently interrupt other people?
Yeah.
Lines necessarily needed to change to line up with the new districts that was passed by the council, like Anderson City Council. So those lines do change in terms of.
And I want to be clear. This is not this. This just so happens to be going on at the same time the shit at the State House is going on. It's similar, but it has nothing to do with it. This is the precincts inside of a city and a county. This has nothing to do with what's going on at the districts.
Right.
Yes, they're
And
changing borders that have to do with political stuff, but it's a little bit different.
And I want everybody to be clear. Okay. These are small areas that are being redistricted. It's not the whole entire county. And nobody can ramble this stuff off like the back of their hand. It's like they're all fumbling through cliff notes in order to make any sense out of this. It's actually very, if I was in charge of this classroom, they would all fail on the presentation because they do not know.
It's wild because like we've been saying, these two people down here at this table now, Chris Lutz and Devin Scroggins, they've been working this since April, and she doesn't say shit if she had a mouthful of it. She follows his lead, and he acts like he got this 30 minutes before this meeting. He does not act like he's been working on this since April. If I had been working on this since April, I could have told it to you in German. You know what I mean? Like this is upside down and backwards. So the fact that these people are acting like they're just clueless, and then the commissioners are clueless, and the clerk doesn't get up and say a damn thing, and Terry Austin doesn't seem to know what's going on. She knows that she's not happy with what's happening, but she's got
Kelly
questions about what's going on.
she doesn't know what's going on.
Kelly Hewer says, I'm late to the party.
Of the exact precincts. Some precincts within District 4 remain the same. Some got changed, obviously, to include the new area.
Some things change, some things stay the same.
So generally answer your question.
Great.
Because it's a general answer, because that's a general question. No, these should be very specific answers with exact lines and everything.
Yes.
Likes having the majority in. I am the only elected official in Madison County, black elected official. And the way shit is going here now, you guys stand on.
Yeah, official.
Okay.
Here's the thing: to Ollie's defense, every time they've done some type of redistricting or moving of the maps, they've lost a minority.
Yeah.
So the track record's there. He's the last one standing.
Okay. Nothing is changing, but we are meeting to change it nonetheless. Yeah.
Your existing district is just.
John, I got a lot of respect for you. I've known you for a long time, and I want.
I got none.
But
that's
the
a lot of the
lines
problem
within your district. Again, your district remains the same because city council are the ones that change.
Put me over here near. Look at. Believe me, I'm going to. So get me that map. Okay.
Yeah, we can provide these again. They are.
And so what? And here's what happens. They're asking he's saying like, "Can I get copies of this?" And Devin's like, "Well, you've got to just fill out the paperwork." And he's like, "No, I shouldn't have to do that." And against Ollie for a second. No. They shouldn't have to do. Here's the thing. I feel strongly that they should have to do everything that we have to do.
I agree.
We shouldn't have to fill out this shit. He shouldn't have to fill it out.
Exactly.
We shouldn't. This is stuff that they should be handing out willy-nilly. Make 20 copies a day, have it there, or make a first additional 20 copies. If they go through those, then make a couple more and play it by ear. But you shouldn't. This is not something that you should be making people jump through hoops to get.
Are proposed. I mean, if the commissioners.
Absolutely.
What if some of you guys wouldn't you have concern if you guys are white, I'm black, if you was under the same situation, wouldn't you have concern? You gotta like y'all don't give a damn about nobody but yourselves.
I'll give you an amen on that.
I like Ollie.
Thanks, Ollie. We'll make sure you get that.
Okay.
See, we'll make sure you get that after the fact. There's no deadline. There's no timeline. There's no quickness to
we
it.
See the big problem here, and it's going around.
And who's this guy? I always
this is
forget.
Lindsey Brown.
Lindsey Brown.
Being evaded. And there was some of the simple questions. How many districts are in the 4th Ward now?
This is important. I'm going to let all of this play because this is important what he says, and then we'll jump to Kelly because he really breaks it down. I love Ollie. Ollie's a little hard to understand sometimes, and he got heated. This guy really breaks it down and spells out the problem and the concerns here. So listen to this.
7 districts. Have
Precincts,
any
not
7 precincts? I'm sorry, 7 precincts. Have any of the 7 precincts? Have they been moved so now you will have different representation out of them?
Lines have changed, yes.
That right there becomes a problem when it's not communicated to everybody. So you're proposing a change of representation of people, and that's precinct committee people as well, right? And what we see right now is precinct committee situation. If you don't have the right precinct committee people in these positions, things can change and become a situation. We have a city council member that has just stepped down, and who's going to put that new city council member in there? The precinct committee people. People don't understand how powerful that position is of being a precinct committee person. And then you have people that sits at the top that takes advantage of people that don't know, and they misuse and put people in positions that they can take advantage of. We have a situation going on now. I can't say that is going on, but information not readily available to the people. These maps, these should be presented out before anybody. They should have been posted out here so we can review them. In fact, this meeting wasn't even posted till what? 2:30, 2:45 on Friday? I mean, right before the holidays? No, this part of the meeting wasn't. It wasn't on the agenda. We got pictures of it. I'm sorry. It wasn't on, but this situation here, the meeting was posted, but about this was not till last minute. And am I right? Do you got a picture of it?
I took a picture of every bulletin board on both floors, and I didn't see anything.
And so,
The agenda we received on November 21st.
okay, but it wasn't posted for the public. I'm sorry. It wasn't posted out for the public to see, the agenda. So we couldn't get ready for it. We don't have a copy of the maps. As a precinct committee member, as a city council member, as anybody, they should be able to walk up in here and ask for a copy of the maps. I shouldn't have to write a records request to go to the attorney, then from the attorney, then to get it. I mean, you drive, but some people got to drive miles all the way to come up here, and then have to turn right back around and come back just for a copy of a map.
No, you can.
No, Devin, stop, Devin, stop, because you're going to just not tell the truth.
I like this, and it's not that he's not telling the truth. It's just he just doesn't understand what's happening. So Devin's getting ready to say, "No, you can submit an email, but then we'll get back to you whenever we feel like getting back to you." It's not one of these things that, okay, I submit an email at 9:00 Monday morning, and you've responded to me by 11. That would be appropriate. But
and
when
I will tell you,
yeah,
on Stumblefoot, the answer to your question is, if they redistrict these lines, Ollie has been in his seat for almost 40 years. If they redistrict these lines, he is done. This is the last time he will not win this again. It is over.
Okay, now let me step in as the white man in the room and say, I specifically don't give a shit about race. I don't want to hurt somebody of a different color, a different religion, a woman, whatever. I want the best person to win. The people in Ollie's district has thought that Ollie has been the best person to win. If they go in and they change up and they're doing all of this weird maneuvering to change his district to basically it's the same thing that they're trying to do in Indianapolis to Andre Carson, right? So Andre Carson wins district Congressional District 7 because that congressional district is basically all of Marion County. And so it's heavy Democrat. And so what they're trying to do at the state level, congressional level, is they're trying to chop that up. Instead of making it one district, they're trying to put it into 4 or 5 different districts so that you divide up the Democrats or you divide up the minorities, you divide up the black people, and you put the black people in southeast Indianapolis with the extremely white all southern Indiana people and it's like they're not going to make up it's not going to be the same makeup.
And-
So I can
I'm
see
not-
some issue with there
Yeah, and
because
I'm
you
not
should
siding
have
one way or the other. I'm just giving information.
no,
Right?
I understand
So
that. I understand that.
when you
I'm just
look at-
saying you should look. People, it comes down to having a representation of people. The
Right.
reason I'm bitching about this deal at the congressional level is because the people that's up touching Michigan,
Okay. but
those
this is-
people don't have anything to do with us.
Okay, but this
I
is what I
understand.
want to
Go ahead.
explain. Okay.
Mhm.
In Madison County,
Mm-hmm.
we have no Democrats in a seat, period.
Yep.
Okay. In
Yep.
Madison County, we have all Republicans in seat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In Madison County, we have no minorities
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
elected.
Mhm. You're preaching
Either
to the
white
choir.
male or white
Yep.
female.
That's just like
That's
Delaware
it.
County. That's like Henry
Okay.
County. That's like Randolph County. That's like
Okay.
Blackford County.
Now, if this
Yep.
is what we're going to do,
Mhm.
then let's just have independence. Let's not even have a political party anymore. Let's just run.
Well, I mean, I get okay. I
Okay.
get what you're saying,
But
and
I don't believe
right.
I don't believe any of this was made to only have one party in power, one party in place. We're supposed to be a democracy and a good
Sure.
representation of the people.
A Republican,
Right?
yeah. But
And
wait a minute. So what I'm hearing is it's the Democrats that are pushing this.
Yeah,
So
and that's what I've
that's
heard
why it
on-
doesn't
I've heard
jive
that as
with
well,
what
that it's
with
the
what's going.
Democrats that are pushing this. But what's become so interesting is that there's only two people who knew about this. Now that everything has played out,
Yeah,
it's these two people sitting at this table.
yeah, right.
I mean,
But
let's
one of
listen
them
to a
sitting
little
there
bit more of
is
this.
the Democrat chair. So do he and Ollie not get along?
No,
Does he not like Ollie?
no,
Why does he not like? I mean, who's he wanting to put in that seat?
we no.
He's not wanting to put a Republican in that seat.
I don't know. We're all learning this. I mean, let's listen to a little bit more of this. I don't know what the ulterior motive here is. Because you would think more people would know about this.
Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe they do, and this is just a good show. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So just stop.
We do records requests
So
via email.
we
All right,
should
here.
not have to do.
We'll keep
I
going
mean,
here.
What everybody doesn't have email. You have an older population out here. Everybody doesn't have email. They don't have access to printers. They don't have access to things. Madison County is a older
And
populated.
Watch Chris
community.
Lutz down here in the corner.
Sometimes you
She's
have to
not
work with the
listening to a
people
thing
that
a
you have
person's
around
saying.
you.
She's reading maps. She
And you
doesn't
have to
care what
deal
they
with
have to
them.
say.
With that. Ms. Crooms, how many times you had to come up here the other day just to get some papers? 4 times. That should not happen. I mean, that's not right. She's 78 years old. How old are you? She's old. How old are you? 75. I was close, right? But 75 years old. I was close. I know. Trust me, I get to call it later. But he's 78. She's 75. I mean, they're older gentlemen, right, and ladies. So they shouldn't have to go through that. Some things should be readily available. That's not. If you're trying to hide something, that's when you don't want to give it.
Public records requests are handled.
But when you're trying to
various
hide
ways.
a
Like I
map,
said, you can come up in person and request it if you want. You can do it by email if you want.
we're not
gonna
yell from the audience today. And see that, to me, when somebody gives a rebuttal like that, that means they get frustrated behind hiding something. It's not that difficult. Present it to the community. That's all you have to do. I'm not here to beat you down or nothing, but it's something that's going to impact your precinct committee people that are Democrat and Republican. They should be really available to see whoever it is because we do have elections coming up and people might want to run for these offices. So they might want to see where they're going to lie in at. So then if they can have a voice, they can prepare their voice. But right now, doing stuff behind closed doors never comes out good. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Jeff, could you further explain the 10-day thing with the state? That might be helpful. I don't know.
Why does it Rick explain?
Is that the public hearing remonstration, a lot of times it's with this body or with the county body. With regard to this, it's at the election division of the state. The notice that goes out, assuming there is an order adopted by the commissioners, has to appear in the counties, it has to appear in 2 newspapers. There is that notice must contain the instructions on how to file a complaint or a remonstration or what we're called a comment about attacking this order and the proposal that's out there or which is ultimately proposed. Then, according to the state law, the IE must hold a hearing on the remonstration.
So I want to pause this. I want everybody to be sure they're understanding what he's saying. I've only been through one other city county doing a redrawing of the precinct. So I've only been through that one other time. And there wasn't any fight. Everybody was okay. It was very clear what they were doing. They made everybody aware and everything was smooth. When the attorney right here is saying after the commissioners vote and approve this, which I fully expect they will do on December 16th, after everybody's brought up to speed on the inside players and everybody's like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. I fully expect the commissioners will vote and approve this. I think what has to happen, and I could be wrong, that's why it's going to be very important for people to attend the December 16th commissioners meeting. Attend it, watch it live, or watch it afterwards like we're doing now, and then watch the show and we'll tell you about it. And I will be there on December 16th. But it's very important because I believe if this is like other things that have required a remonstration, what this will mean in order to do it, we will have to get a number of people that will agree to sign up and that will want to fight this. And there will have to be a certain number of them in order to trigger the hearing. And that's how I've done other things that have required remonstrations, and it's required that number. So we'll have to follow those rules exactly.
I got a call from a friend, and she said, if anybody files anything against this within the next 10 days, it stops. They can't move forward. And I'm not quite understanding that completely.
I don't think that's true because they didn't do anything.
And I'm going to have you talk. I'm going to have you talk with her tomorrow.
Okay. Because what she would be talking about would happen. I would be pretty sure.
Yeah. So I'm going to have you talk with her tomorrow and find out if that's true. So, but I mean, let's listen to some more of this.
Yeah.
Protest of the what's wrong with the maps that were ultimately approved or the name changes. So the way the state law is set up, they throw the hearing authority down to the state, now the county.
We can skip past him. Let's get to Kelly.
Division and possibly
point out a couple of things that I think could probably help resolve a lot of the concerns that people have. And
this is Terry. You want to listen to Terry?
Well, we can listen to Terry. And the fact that I wish you could see the binder better because it looks almost identical to Devin's.
It is identical to Devin's. It's blue, and it is. I was there. I saw Devin's book. It's identical to Devin's book.
Yeah,
tentative. And the Indiana
and
election,
what I can't tell, and this is my thinking here because Devin has a blue book, Chris does not. So what I'm assuming is she had a book, Devin had a book. No, Devin gave Terry his book, and he and Chris are using one. That's what my belief is here.
It could be
because that's what would make that would make sense.
Division, the Office of Census Data is actually an LSA, which I'm very familiar with, Legislative Services Agency. They have a Democrat and a Republican who look over the maps, who compare it to the census data to look for problems, misnaming, things like that. They can send it back. So my suggestion is your order is, and by Mr. Scroggins' own admission, that process has not been completed yet. So
because we do the bare minimum
at this point, whether the changing of precinct lines or the renaming is actually premature. And I want to save you guys some trouble.
Yes, Jack.
By suggesting and then I'll save my suggestion for the last. The other thing is these maps have absolutely no street lines on them. Nothing, no identifiers. You have no idea for sure what is being included and it's not.
I noticed
Let me
that
give
when
you
we
an
got these the other
example, and
day.
this is just one example that I found. This is the District 1 map. You all should probably have a copy of it from the new city council districts that were approved by the federal judge, And that order explicitly named streets, precincts, areas. However, when you look at the proposed, and I am looking at Anderson 1-1, if I can find it here. If you look at Anderson 1-1, I will tell you, and this is just from my own first glance in trying to go through these this morning, part of Union 6 is actually incorporated into the city of Anderson. The new proposed map does not include Union 6 in the precinct 1-1 map. And this is where I think you're going to run into a buzzsaw, because you've got people who are going to be looking at the federal order saying, these are the precincts and areas that are supposed to be incorporated into the district. And then you have a district map that was adopted by the city council, and I can't remember when it was adopted, in September, August, maybe. But then you have a new precinct map that leaves out, that is the precinct that is adjacent to this area, that totally leaves it out and leaves it in Union 6.
Can I address that one? So again, we can't cross township lines. So the reason Anderson 1-1 does not include that area is because that is in Union Township. So you can't cross a city, Anderson city precinct into another township. So that area specifically is part of the split that's in Union 6. There's a split for out of town and then in Anderson, in Union 6.
And there's no exception to that in the law, or for the elections division.
Correct. Yeah, we can't cross the township.
Okay. The other
that
thing I'll
raises
say
another
is,
question
according
then.
to my asking of a lot of people, nobody else has been involved in this except for the two people from voter registration and whomever they sent these to at the Indiana Elections Division after they'd completed their work. You're talking about eliminating eight precincts. You're eliminating 9 precincts. That eliminates 9 precinct committee people on both sides of the aisle. You also are renaming precincts. That doesn't necessarily affect a sitting city council person in Pipe Creek, in Anderson. However, it changes from what their ordinances are that they have passed, where they specifically name what those districts consist of. I can see this thing becoming a big brouhaha. I would encourage you to consider tabling this order for today and taking it under advisement. We desperately need to have, because we're all doing this verbally, and you really need to see visuals of side-by-sides. Existing maps, which is what these are, proposed maps, which is what has been submitted with no street names on it. And then the third thing is the newly approved city council maps for at least the city of Anderson, and then with the changes from incorporated area, newly annexed and incorporated areas. So that is my suggestion, take it or leave it. But I really think you can see from the people who are here today who don't typically come to a commissioners meeting, there's enough concern and questions that we need more clarification before you move to adopt this order and then have to run the risk of changing it down the road before the deadline. So I think a 10-day window would be appropriate.
I want to add a couple points.
Now they're fighting time here. They've got to get this done before December 19th.
That's the other issue. And to answer the question, so when you're saying, have you posted the map, it's not like a picture of the map of Anderson or a map of Madison County. It's like 114 pages of precinct
I've got
areas.
them posted everywhere. I've got the maps posted everywhere.
Right. But when you're saying that though, it's not like looking at a map. I want people to be aware. It's not as simple as just pulling up and looking at a map. You're looking at a colored square. Unless you know exactly where that is, there, like she said, there's no street names in there. There are no street lines. So you're just looking at colors really. And so they really did not even the bare minimum on preparing these maps of these precincts. So when you go and you look for this, they are posted out there. It's just understand it's not like you're going to be looking at a map like you think you're like the maps behind me of Indiana or Delaware County where you can clearly see what it is, or a map of Madison County that you can clearly see what and where. It's a whole different thing. It's really bizarre.
Understanding of statute and like conversations with IED, the proposal that you guys could approve today, regardless of
right, that's what they're bitching about.
It remains proposed all the way until that 10-day public notice period happens. And then if it gets challenged during that time, it still remains proposed until the election commission signs off on it and reviews it. Yeah, and like actually the ones provided by probably maybe more helpful, the black and white, I understand is not that great in terms of finding the boundaries. So
no shit.
Color-coded is an option. If anyone that's requested one, if you did not get a color copy, you got it electronically, you got the color copy. We had 2 people that had them printed out. So there's our black and white, I believe, for both people. So we could send color copies to them as well.
So my question is why are they black and white? You just handed Terry Austin all the colored photos.
Yeah.
Your
right?
districts,
and
I believe.
Why are we always doing the bare minimum?
Yeah.
Have an
and why do
objection
people
as well
accept
to
it?
this.
Yeah.
Committeemen are very powerful, and my understanding is there's an elimination of 6 committeemen. Is that correct? In total,
it depends.
There's not there's an
depends.
elimination
The
once
number
we go
depends
into an
on how the
election.
boundaries, like
If you
where
are
the
an elected
committees
official
live,
in a
depending on-
precinct, you become
and my
either
understanding also is that
incorporated
electorally,
if there's no
99%
one in the precincts that are
from the
being moved together,
cornfields, which is
or
an
you'll be
A+
a
in any
ghost,
school
you'll
across
hold a ghost precinct.
Yeah.
But you
bars
don't, if
around.
you're an elected
However,
official, you do
there's
not
some
lose your
opacity.
seat until
When
the
you
next
walk
election.
in, everybody stops talking. Everybody looks around.
Put in for the Bill of Rights, and also protocols put in place so that everything does not have to go through the county attorney for
Exactly,
basic
like Sarge said,
information,
doesn't
as
need to
long
go
as
through the
there's not
county
a
attorney.
security concern the last day. And I scrambled to get the information so that I could digest it before I came in here to this meeting to know what was going on. And I appreciate that. This is not forks and torches. You know, I'm not here to address that, but for public transparency, this could have been a lot easier.
Hell
the maps
yeah.
could have been put out. People would
Yeah.
have had time to digest it. So in my case with Fall Creek 1, which is the constituents I represent, I got a chance to look at the maps, figure it out that there was no change in the precinct and no real impact on the people that I was elected to represent. So that's something for the commissioners to think that they should consider as far as First Amendment, allowing conversation at the last of the meetings for 10 or 15 minutes for people who have it, especially when.
But from 2, 3, and 4.
And so I
hear
want
that
people to
we
understand, David
Decide
Sargent
how
is an
many
elected
it's
official
different, so-
who
I
went
know
to
the
voter
procedure. I
registration
know
and
in
was
the
turned
Senate,
down from
the
getting these
civil
maps.
rights,
This is how this all
rights to
started.
vote, people that ate by
Yeah, totally crazy. Totally insane.
He's an elected official. He should have been given those right there at that
change in
moment.
my district. They take
We did not.
well, it can be. I got it's 30 miles of good government. You guys ought to know better.
Ollie.
Oh, they know better, all right. They know
Good
exactly
morning,
what they're doing.
Commissioner.
All right, now here's Kelly.
Kelly Hewer, 320 Edgewood Place West, Anderson, 46011. I am the Republican Party County Chair for Madison County. And I just would like to reiterate this similar sentiments to Mrs. Austin. I would suggest that this be tabled for further review, just for the simple fact that there has not been adequate transparency in.
This is wild work, her getting up here and saying this. I cannot believe I am
Listen to that
sitting
word.
in a meeting in Madison County where Kelly Hewer is bitching about the lack of transparency.
This is karma. Right here is karma.
So weird. And look at Chris Lutz. She's just like looking down, not looking at her. Like,
She's not listening to a damn thing anybody's got to say.
Yeah.
Her attitude, I'm telling you right now, if I was the Republican chair, she would be gone.
Yeah.
The process, this affects, 112 precinct committeemen, along with voters of Madison County. And so there's a lot of detail.
Kelly's worried about the voter. I mean, this is wild.
And then she's worried about
I
the
should have had
detail.
Kelly on tonight rather than you.
Do you know what Kelly used to do to me?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to wait till, you know what? I can't wait till we go into 26 because I'm going to point out every last bit of non-transparency this woman does.
I love this. She might be on our side. She may have crossed on over.
She's only on our side because she got duped.
I know.
That need to be reviewed.
See, I'm taking pictures of you.
I, as the county chair, was not involved in this process. I was informed of it, but I can't adequately inform
Look at Chris.
my precinct committee
I'm doing stuff here.
Enough information. And they make up our party, and same with the Democrat Party. So I think that it's more information.
Look, they're
needs to
both
be
just
reviewed.
filing away.
And so
and
what
also,
I want
this
people to
is
understand right here, right now, the actions of this behavior show you they have no respect for Kelly Hewer. Okay. Now, I want you to know that Devin at least was listening to Terry Austin, was engaging and wasn't doing this. Chris never was. Chris has no respect of anybody who's been at the podium because she doesn't actively listen. She is a passive listener. There's a big difference. I had to do a whole thing on this in my master's. Now, both of these are passively listening, like, we don't really care what you got to say. Just keep speaking and we're going to shuffle some papers around.
Is the Democrat county chair in voter registration. And I don't work in voter registration. So I would like to have, some more information. Again, I was not involved in this. I was informed of it, but not involved enough to adequately inform my committee.
And listen
of
what happens here
that affect them. And also, losing 9 committeemen. I mean, our committeemen were elected, and that affects them. So I would just suggest that maybe more review be done before a decision is made. Thank you.
I'd like to clarify on that real quick. As she mentioned, she was informed as the Republican chairwoman for Madison County. I kind of mentioned in our initial thing that we are required to notify various individuals. The 2-party chairs are one of those. We've had regular communication. Our office, both myself and Chris, have had regular communication back and forth through this process.
I think so,
I've
Joe.
got emails if we wanted dates or whatever for that. So we would happily, if she wanted to have gotten involved, we happily would have at your request. We've
So
discussed this.
what Devin is saying here
we
is
happily
that
had you involved, assuming.
If she would have known what they were doing ahead of time without being told, and if she would have asked, they would have let her be involved. But because she didn't know about it, she
Kelly
didn't know
is
to ask.
supposed to have that crystal ball like she expects us, the constituents, to have. Right? So how does your own medicine feel? How's that tasting? Does that spoon taste pretty good now, Kelly? Because this is the exact same way she and Russ Willis have led this county for years. So I don't feel a bit sorry for her. I'm actually applauding Devin for giving it right back to her. I mean,
I love it.
That's the whole great thing. She's over here having tea with Linda and Michelle, right? They continue to meet as a quorum because I mean, there's more than 2. There's 3 people on the county election board. They're always together. What do you think's going on with that? This is a big problem, and why we continue to accept this, I have no idea why. I bet you if we confiscated their phones, you would see text messages and all kinds of things flying between the 3 of them.
That would be amazing.
The commissioners would have been happy with it because ultimately this work is delegated to them. The main authority for this
project is them, and then they delegated it to us. So if they would have been happy with it, we would happily have had you more involved.
Devin, how hard would it be to get the maps upgraded and include the roads?
We'll check with IED, our specific contacts. Yeah, definitely.
What do you mean
so I can reach
IED?
out.
We have
I can
this
reach
stuff.
out today and see if they can get that on there.
Would it be possible to upload that to the website for easy access for people?
Yeah, I can have Jim upload it to voter registration website or commissioners.
Just somewhere wherever it's easiest.
You know, your commissioners don't even know if you have maps that are this detailed.
Kelly Hewer again.
And these people are in charge of this county?
Yeah.
So yes, technically you did inform me.
It's Kelly Hewer again, folks.
I was not involved though at all. I was not asked to come in. I was not asked to review the changes.
She sounds like she's getting ready to cry.
Oh, she
This is the
is.
first
You
time
did not
I'm
include her,
hearing-
so now we're going to turn to tears so that everybody feels sorry for her, like she's the victim. Kelly, you're not the victim, Kelly. You're clearly inept to do your job. She should have been up there Tuesday when she saw all this going awry. And let me just inform you, Kelly Hewer, the statute assigns the responsibility to the county executives. It's Indiana Code 3-11-1.5-2. The commissioners can delegate the responsibility to the election board, but only through an order at 3-11-1.5-36. You didn't get the memo, or you haven't gone and looked up the Indiana Code.
Yeah.
So sit down and quit crying about it, because this is how you treat all of us.
Yeah. No, that's Kelly speaking.
Kelly Hewer could not even get up here and tell this council how many elected Republican PCs we have in this county.
Yeah.
It is
Your
disgusting.
office made those decisions.
She has to appoint 10.
I mean, I'm not opposed to making changes. I'm not opposed to leading things up if necessary. Just more transparency. More transparency, side-to-side maps. I mean, you can't tell really technically what has changed. And I know that technically you don't have to involve anyone else. But I just think that it would benefit those affected.
You don't have to, but it could. It would be nice.
That's how Kelly
To have
treats
more
the constituents who are running
transparency
for
and more
election.
involvement. Then that way
That she doesn't
we're
want.
not finding ourselves in this situation where there's a lot of questions and then a lot of anxiety just because folks aren't aware of what is happening. This is my first go round. There's no playbook for
Same
this.
here, yeah.
So, I just think that, again, more involvement and then better transparency. And also, I'm of the opinion that the more information our people have, then it then we don't have this level of anxiety and lack of understanding of changes. So.
Yeah, I agree. More transparency is always better. Also, my first go around, so
Jesus.
Use the electronic version from COG
website. Well, I don't know how to work computers.
Computerized system that the state was bringing, and it didn't work. There's another reason to put pause on and to say, and that's why they had to send it to the state to do these maps.
Appointed precinct, many people you have.
I am not the county chair.
Okay, she was the county chair.
For 100 years.
No, she was the county chair in
And I
24.
personally
Yeah,
don't
right.
know the number right off the top of my head. I'd have to look to see how many are appointed.
How many you have there?
This is where they're talking about how many. Listen to what Kelly says here.
I mean, it's a handful.
Appointed, let me think. We probably have, I want to say we're probably about 60 are appointed.
So, out of however many precinct committeemen the Democrats have, 111, 60 are appointed. 60 are currently appointed.
How did
That's
you
what he
find
just
that
got
out?
done saying. He just got done saying it.
Oh, they just got to saying that?
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I'm saying this is because when Kelly was running for her leadership, and this is what I want to bring out to people in a short thing here, talking about Russ Willis's endorsement of Vice Chair Kelly Hewer was also not unexpected. The Willis and Hewer families are close friends and vacationing partners. Kelly, although personable and gregarious, in contrast to Willis, and distrustful personality. So, Kelly's is the same way, has been described by some in regard to political philosophy as Russ in a skirt. That's who Kelly Hewer really is.
Yeah.
It isn't clear whether the likable Kelly Hewer would be any more transparent or would welcome input more than the current regimen, since she has been an integral part of it. For her to say that she is new at this is her first round.
Yeah.
No. She has been in the trenches. She has been right up Russ's rear end. And let me tell you what's happened in Madison County. What's happened in Madison County is Kelly wants to be higher up. She does not want to deal with county stuff. She wants to be higher up in the state level.
Yeah.
She thinks that she's going to run a better show. Well, there's been a little bit of an out with her and Russ. And since she won't bow down to exactly how Russ wants it done, he's like, well, then I'm not going to help you at all. So you go out there and you flounder. He's going to take this little kitten and he's going to throw it right out into the lake. Well, she's out there and boy, she is drowning, and she's drowning quickly.
Yeah.
She is not a victim.
Listen to what she says here.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's got 60.
Also, quick point to Terry's thing. So yeah, so the computer program that is generally used, we use it for various things. We use it for voter cleanup. We use it for annexations, and it also has a module for re-precincting. So just from our conversation, we had issues. Software is mainly there for us.
Referring to just precinct committeemen, I cannot give you an exact number, but I can give you a percentage. So about 90% are elected.
So
we're
Kelly's
just
saying 10% are appointed. She doesn't know an exact number for some reason.
Here's the deal, people. 102 PCs are elected. We have 112 precincts. 10 have to be appointed.
So 10 are appointed.
Talking about precinct committeemen, not referring to vice. So if that.
Reading the other day, and
that was that.
Oh, okay. With the streets on them, so they can see if they will.
So
move.
Rebecca gets up and asks about the
Nobody
streets.
can get a copy of these PC lists.
Upload while we have the
Yeah.
color-coded maps. That
Looking for someone to represent that precinct, because most people won't have a clue that that's even available. They may have an opportunity to run if someone.
She gets up and obviously talks about the timeline they have,
precinct.
and Jeff
How
talks
many
about
precincts?
103 for proposed, 112 right now.
112 precincts now. They're
holographic,
trying to
couldn't
take
be
them
mine,
down
but-
to 103.
Thank you.
I got a question for Jeff. Jeff, what are our options for today?
So here's the
without
options.
interrupting a time frame to have everything done.
From what I've been able to, I've been trying to figure that out while we talk, but the drop dead date that we would have to have in order to the newspapers for publication would be the 19th.
19th of December is when they have to have it to the newspapers.
That would be pushed. I would advise the 18th would be much better.
So he says do it the 18th, so there's a little bit of wiggle room.
Which is
And they meet on the 16th.
after your next regular scheduled meeting on the 16th. Yes.
So continuing until the 16th.
Just,
So this was all planned, everybody. This timeline was completely planned. And I want people to understand, and Kelly Hewer's plea to the people, to the PCs, of why she is the most qualified candidate. She says, my vast experience in grassroots organizing, political fundraising, event planning, and relationship building makes me the most qualified candidate for chairwoman of the Madison County Republican Party. So I ask for your vote on March 1st. She goes on to say, I have served as the vice chairman of Madison County Republican Party for the past 4 years. And for over 20 years, I have worked in the Republican campaigns. And we have one local state. She goes on to say in this letter that she's got here. She says, with her steadfast leadership, your Republican Party has turned Madison County from its Democrat stronghold into a Republican supermajority. But we must unite to keep our current Republican seats in 2026 and re-elect Republicans in county municipalities and win the Anderson and Elwood mayor's office and Anderson City Council in the 2027 municipal elections. As your chairman, I will create outreach programs, modernize our party communications with a website, social media, and email, facilitate candidate PC and GOP data center training, expand the political organization infrastructure to include ward chairs and committees, and fundraise to open physical party headquarters. My goal is to continue to build upon the momentum of electing Republicans. Under my leadership, our party will not endorse candidates in primary elections. I will not serve on the election board, and our party will fundraise to bolster party operations and be used to beat Democrats. So we can't do it unless she won, we come together.
And
So
she's been around forever.
So for anybody who believes the nonsense she put up there, that she is not, this is her first go around. This is not her first go around. This is her first time of being duped. This is the first time of her not getting the way she wants. And now we're going to crawl up there and play victim. She does it very well, and she does it all the time.
Oh yeah. So to answer the question here, Kate said, so they didn't talk about like a deadline. I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's just like the redistricting as far as that's concerned, because there is an election that starts the first Wednesday into January. That filing period starts. So I'm assuming they've got to have this done before that Wednesday
and this is exactly
date.
Right.
And so that's the bottom line. So absolutely, Joack. But I would assume that they have to have this done by Wednesday, the 7th of January. So if they don't have this done by Wednesday, January 7th, what?
I'm telling something.
Yeah, no. It'll be out of luck. So that'll be the official deadline. Okay, now we'll have to watch what goes on. We'll be there on December 16th.
Christopher. They're going to come together. They're going to pass this. They're going to say A-OK, and let's move forward. And I'm going to tell you something. The commissioners are going to do no more work than they've done yesterday.
Yeah. It'll be fall on these two idiots, and hopefully they tell people and they provide the map. I'm going to go up there and try to get a book or find out what we got to do to get color map with the city streets on it, but we'll go on from there. Okay, we've got 10 minutes before we got to wrap up, so let's do it 5 and 5. So we got 5 minutes just briefly to talk about what happened today, because I want to try to get her on.
Right. So I want people to understand, the process in Madison County was very broken. We can do a whole nother show on this, and we do need to do one before the next caucus comes up. And that's going to be about the same week that we're doing this. So maybe next week we can talk about the caucus. So if anybody is in District 5 and you're looking to run, this is the time to do it. It was interesting to rewatch
District 5 of Anderson City Council. We're moving on from Madison County. We're now talking about the city of Anderson.
It was very interesting to hear what Devin just said, that Union Township can't be included in the city, or however they're doing this. I don't really understand, right?
Yeah.
Because Robin Wagner evidently is running for this District 5, and she's in Lafayette Township.
If she does not live inside District 5, she can't run.
Well, I don't know, because he's saying you can't intertwine them. That's Lafayette 5. So we have to go look at that. So,
well, if she doesn't live inside a precinct that is inside District 5, that person cannot run.
Yeah. So the maps are very screwy on how this is going to go. And here would even be funny. You know what would be funnier, Christopher? So say Robin does run, and this is a part that they carve out, right?
Yeah. That'd be
then they have to have another caucus.
Yeah. Right.
If she wins.
So I thought, so we're moving on to Anderson City Council, the thing with Stephanie, right? Is that what we're talking about? Okay.
Right.
So today, Lance Stevenson, whatever his name is, the 10-year long councilman's been on there as Democrat. He resigned.
And he stayed just long enough for the 10 years so
to
he
be able
gets
to get
a
his perf.
retirement.
Yeah. So he'll get the perf, and then he's leaving. And so what we've heard was there are like 2 or 3 people connected to him that are planning on running or want to run, and one of them wants to get it, and they want to have a pretty easy transition and not have a big deal. Well, Stephanie Maystenis filed to run today
and decided to take one for the team.
She's an advocate. She's an advocate over there. She's been very involved in city and county government politics. Very. A lot of you may or may not remember. I had her on the program several times back in Perception is Reality days. We had her on, and she's very, very strong voice, very open.
She jumps in with both feet. She's willing to serve the people.
She's a Democrat, but she's not like she's far more progressive than I am. I will be very honest with that. But she's still, I would still consider her a pretty blue dog Democrat. She's got some conservative values and opinions. She's very concerned about transparency, very concerned about communication, very concerned about keeping people accountable. If she is on the council, she will be a voice for all of the citizens of Anderson. And even as a Democrat, she's somebody that I would back. Now, do I agree with everything that she champions? No, I do not. But I would champion her over anybody else. Very few things, honestly. Stephanie would be a great addition. I'll do whatever we can to help her, to back her there, and hopefully we were trying to get her on the show tonight, but we didn't make that happen. So hopefully we'll have her on.
Uncle is running for this. He is a precinct committeeman in that area. He is an elected precinct committeeman. Robin Wagner works in the auditor's office. She is a precinct committeeman as well. She is running. And then Tim Lannon's brother is also running for this.
Okay.
So that's another thing.
Is he also a precinct committeeman?
I did not see that he was a precinct committeeman, but he could be appointed somewhere. I have no idea. Right. So it's very interesting. Stephanie was able to get the PC list of everybody that's going to be involved in there. I believe there's 7 people that are going to be in that area. I was originally told there were only going to be 5 voting on this. Now it's 7. I don't know what the person was telling me when it was going to be 5, that they knew 2 of those people that are in there are also running for the seat.
Yeah, that's true. And they can vote, and they can vote for themselves. They can vote for other people. They won't vote for other people. They'll each vote for themselves. So this will be an interesting caucus to watch and to see what happens here. My supporting goes to Stephanie.
If you have a night that you don't have anything going on, I'd like to talk about this whole thing, because it could be a whole show.
When is the caucus?
The caucus is, what is it, like the 16th? That's the other question people are asking me today.
We know or we don't know. Are you guessing?
I'm getting ready to tell you, because I got 2 dates in my mind. I've got the deadline in my mind, and then I've got when the actual caucus is going to be. So the other thing people are asking me, his resignation is the 31st. Why are they having a caucus before that? And why wouldn't they do it afterwards? Because once they do the caucus, wouldn't that remove him from that seat?
No. They can do the caucus.
Just asking me this question.
No, they'll do the caucus and
don't talk down to me. Okay.
No. I'm just telling you. I'm talking down to whoever is asking you that. No, I'm not talking down to anybody. I'm just telling you. We've got like 6 minutes. I'm trying to speed us along. We've got Monday. Wait. Hold on. You ask the question. They can do that and have that person ready, and then when he leaves, that person, because their city council meeting will be. When will their city council meeting be in Anderson? When are city council meetings in Anderson?
So it's the 2nd Thursday of every month, I believe.
Okay, so if he leaves on the 31st, then whoever they caucus in, hopefully Stephanie, will be prepared for that Thursday, the 8th. So yeah, that's perfectly fine.
So here's the story.
Yep.
So Devin Scroggin, chairman of the Madison County Democrat Party, said Monday that the precinct committeemen will caucus on December 17th at 6 p.m. at the party headquarters to elect Stevenson's replacement.
December 17th at 6 p.m.?
Yes. Scroggin said 3 people have declared intent to run, which we've already discussed. Now, Stephanie kind of threw a wrench in this today because she went in and filed. The deadline to file the declaration of candidacy is 6 p.m. on December 14th. And so, just so if anybody's looking to do this, it'll be December 14th. The big thing is it, no matter if Stephanie wins or loses this caucus, she is going to show us the process, and she's going to show us a process that's very broken in Madison County.
Yeah.
And as many of you know, I tried to caucus for the coroner's position, and I got like 7 votes out of like 100, right? I don't know. They had like 90 people there. It was the biggest turnout they've ever had because they wanted to make sure that I couldn't win this position, right? And so they went over the top. They made sure all these people were appointed. This was prior to us having the movement. I'll tell you right now, if we were to have that caucus with me, it'd be a whole different number show. Because we've got, so many people in there. About 40% of those 102 are from our movement. So it was a good move. I hope the Democrats will do the same thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, they need to do that.
She's going to show us the process. Today was kind of an eye-opener as well because she went to file. When she went to file, she had sent me a picture of her paperwork, and I got nervous, and I said, hey, Stephanie, one of these boxes is not checked. I see it looks like she went back up there. It's been checked now because I'm like, they will wait. Because remember, these people aren't about making sure all the paperwork's done right. These people aren't there to help you. They're there to make sure you make an error so that one of their people can bump you, and then they're not contested. And so I was so glad that she posted that.
So she went back up there and did get that corrected.
And now it's checked. So we are in good position for her. Her paperwork is up to snuff. And then she asked for, I want the district maps and I want the PC. But what did Devin do? Devin's like, yeah, just go to the GIS and you can see the maps over there.
Jesus.
We got a problem right now, Devin, over these maps. You should be sending her a picture of what those maps look like and what her roads are and what they entail. So this is just, and again, the bare minimum. I don't know why we keep accepting the bare minimum. If I were Stephanie, I'd be sending him a message back saying, no, you carve out and you give me a detailed area and show me what it is. That's his job as a Democrat chair. If that means he has to hold somebody's hands, that's exactly what he should be doing, especially somebody who's a first candidate going up against people and players who've been recycled, who their family members have been recycled, and who've been doing this all along.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah.
This will be an interesting thing to watch. Robin Wagner, I know who she is. I've watched her many times in council. This lady doesn't speak. She's like a mouse. I don't know how she's ever going to represent the people. The other 2 men, we already know how they're going to perform because you just look at their family members. So Stephanie is the best candidate, but we all know what they're going to do because Stephanie will demand excellence. They don't want that in their.
Oh yeah, no, that'll be wild. It'll be real wild.
Yeah,
we will follow up with that. Okay. Lastly, before we roll out of here, we do have to just cover really briefly what happened down at the State House today. It was a long day. So the committee thing started at 9 a.m. and it was pretty close to on the dot. We live streamed for 5 hours, 46 minutes, and 8 seconds. Directly
you
following.
and I can beat that time.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, no problem. Easy. That would not be a problem at all. The meeting then adjourned, and then the House session day 2 opened up. That was about 27 minutes, 36 seconds. And it had some bumps and bruises, and they went into recess and came back and went to recess. And basically they just set up the day for Thursday. No big deal. Obviously the big day was in the committee hearing, and there were a ton of people that went to speak, but it was still just a fraction of the people. There were so many people that signed up but didn't show up to the podium. I would say it was because they didn't get a chance to speak. They started right out of the bat with Democrat Matt Pierce asking them to postpone this and set it for another day when the weather was better. He also asked that they can consider holding this and running this, if they're going to do this, if we're going to do it, to do it the same way that we did the last redistricting process, and that was hold listening dates around Indiana. They held one meeting up in Valparaiso. They held one down in Evansville, one in Fort Wayne, one, all over the state. So people from those areas could be heard without having to travel to the capital city. And that is a great idea. And of course, that died without any real consideration. And it's just maddening. And I'll tell you what blows my mind. What blows my mind away more than anything is to listen to these people talk. I'd never heard this ever before in anything else in government. When they're talking and the Republicans are saying the reason we are doing this is for political performance, to give us a leg up in the next election. That's why they're not saying this is beneficial to the citizens because of X. They are openly saying we are doing this to benefit ourselves. We are doing this to make sure in the next election we have a better shot of going 8-1-9-0. And to say that over and over and over, God, it just really, really breaks me down. It's insane to hear that shit.
They want to rub it in your face. They want you to know who's in charge.
It's insane. At the end of the day, they listen to everybody. The Republicans listened to the people who were pro. The Democrats listened to people who were against. The Republicans didn't listen to the Democrats. The Democrats didn't listen to the Republicans. The chairman looked like Eddie Munster, and that's the whole thing. I do want to let you. Here's the thing. This is actually what I heard. What the Democrats said. Actually, doing what they did there actually helps prevent them from being the lawsuit, because if they don't say it's for political gain, that opens them up to being sued under the Voters Act that Ollie was talking about. But if they say it's for political, if it's for political prowess, it's for political gameplay, then they can't be sued. They can't specifically be sued for that. And so by doing that, they're trying to stop a lawsuit from happening. And that's what Matt Pierce said, that when he was talking to the guy that put the bill forward, which is Smaltz. It's Ben Smaltz, District 52, is the author of the bill. Representative from 61, Democrat Matt Pierce said, I know that this is hurting his soul to say this, but he's got to say it. And that just shows you that they know that they are selling out. And it's just so freaking gross. It's absolutely sick. But they were talking, everybody kept talking about how this was a big push from Trump. I want you to hear, this is just 40 seconds, and we'll go ahead and end on this. I'll give Katherine the last word, which I know is dangerous. But the chair, Timothy Wesco from District 21, it's not really Timothy Wesco, it's really Eddie Munster. And I want you to listen to what his words are here in this. This is totally insane. Listen to what he's got to say here. This is why he's supportive of the redistricting.
This committee almost didn't take up this issue. But it wasn't President Trump that convinced me to do it. It was President Obama. When President Obama chose to wage a public relations campaign to urge voters in California to overturn their constitution and their nonpartisan redistricting commission so that they could erase Republican seats. It was Governor Pritzker in Illinois, whose gross hypocrisy, after Illinois created outrageous-looking districts to erase 3 Republican seats in the 2021 redistricting process. I don't like these rules, but I didn't make these rules. This committee almost didn't take up this issue.
Blows me away that it
wasn't President Trump that convinced me to do it.
That's a Democrat?
No, he's a Republican. Oh. That's a Republican. Timothy Wesco. It just blows me away that he says this. I didn't make these. He's first of all, well, where's that accent from? What kind of individual is this? Second of all, why does he look so much like Eddie Munster? And third of all, you're so mad at Obama for doing what he did in California. So now you're mad at what they did in California, so we're going to do it here. You were mad at Pritzker in Illinois for the bullshit they did over there, so we're going to do it here. Yeah, that's not how anybody was taught to play. And it's definitely not how we should be doing this politics. It's just bullshit. We'll be following it here. It passed. Okay, it's literally they did a bad thing, so we have to do the bad thing too. Now, to their credit, they were told by the Democrats, if you don't do this now, we'll do it if we get back in control. And they were told that, and that happened yesterday. So, in all fairness, the Democrats, we are fucked all the way around. The Democrats literally stood up yesterday and said, if you don't do this now, don't do this now. We don't want you to do it now. But if you don't do it now, we will do it if we get in control. So we're damned if we do and damned if we don't. I don't know. I'm not for it. I'm still not for it. I've not heard anything that's pushed me over the edge. We'll continue to follow it for the last of it. It passed committee by a vote of 8-5. There are 13 people in committee. Okay. 4 Democrats. That means there are 9 Republicans, and 8 Republicans passed it, and 4 Democrats and 1 Republican voted no. So now it goes on to the full House. I look that they will probably vote on it on Thursday, which will then send it to the Senate starting on Monday the 8th. And I will tell you, I believe that the Senate could put the kibosh on it. I'm hoping they do. It'll be in their hands. Catherine, you've got a few minutes. You want the last word to say something, or you want to end it?
Oh, I want the last word.
Go on.
This is what the only take-home message that I can tell people: if you're not registered to vote, please register to vote. If you are registered to vote, find other people who are not registered to vote and get them registered to vote. Less than 90 seconds on your phone. You just need some type of official ID
3 minutes,
to be able
maybe.
to do it. So I encourage you to do that. If you don't know how to be involved, just sharing our post, sharing our podcast, sharing those things with others, that helps us, whether you want to do it privately or you want to do it publicly. Because if you tell 1 people, hopefully that you'll tell 10 people. If we tell you, you'll tell 10 people. Those 10 people, they'll tell 10 people. And that's how we'll change the voting. And for all of you, I don't really trust the machines in Madison County anymore after what I've seen. I encourage you to vote on election day, only pre-vote if you cannot be there on election day, because your vote does matter. And so that's about all I can say to everybody. We're going to show more and more as things come out. We've got big problems, not just in our county, but in everywhere. But if we can't clean up our own backyard, we can't really get too worried about state and federal. So you do have to be involved at the local level, because all that stuff rolls uphill, and we end up paying for it in the long run. If you have never run for an office, I encourage everybody to try it one time. I really do. I encourage people to get involved that way. Run for state delegate, run for PC, get involved. People want to say, well, you lost an election. Well, I don't know if I did or not. We have selections in Madison County, not elections, now that I've seen how the machines work and the ballots can be manipulated. So we will see what 26 brings us. I think a lot more things are going to heat up through December.
Sure.
If you're looking to file for 26, that starts, I think, January 7th.
January 7th, Wednesday, January 7th.
Yeah, I think it's January 7th. So start looking at that, start getting everything in order. If I can be of any help, please feel free to reach out to me or Kristopher. It's great to see more people getting involved, and I appreciate.
Well, there's a song. Thank you, Catherine. As always, we will have you back on here again at some point. We'll let you know what goes on. Thank you. Stay there, and we'll be right back with you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. Thank you for hanging out and watching this. Share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word if you haven't already. That would be fantastic. Before you leave, if you could smash that like button, we would absolutely appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a great, great hump day, no politics tomorrow. All day politics, that is. There is the Board of Works and a couple of other things. We will follow that. We will be back here tomorrow night, God willing, at 9 p.m. for episode 569. You guys take care. Have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. God bless. And as soon as I can kill that, we'll say goodbye. Goodbye.